Doubles and Coffee, the most interesting, damning, complex article on Keith Rowley's leadership, the most important factors, the economy, which creates jobs and your ability to live safely, securely, in comfort, to manage your family's goals. The economy has gone quietly, like everybody not paying attention to this from Sunday Guardian. Sunday Guardian, the Guardian of Rowley. The shareholders who own the Guardian, say they're so excited that Rowley got small pin through and so on, boasting openly. 3 economists on PM Rowley's legacy. TNT poorer and more indebted. Let me go through this with you all because it is very dishonest, disingenuous for people in Trinidad and Tobago to read this, to absorb this, and to just move on without comment. All of you intellectuals, all of you business chambers, all of you business people, all of you CEOs, all of you board members, all of you citizens, all of you labor unions, all of you people who understand a little bit of business, economics and finance, all of you bankers, all of you are lining up to get a little crumbs from the table of Rowley, for you all to allow this, the most scathing rebuke of Rowley's 9 years as Prime Minister, to just pass without comment, hoping it goes away, is sad. And that's why people with intelligence who understand, you all are the most corrupt in this society. Because you with the intelligence, you with the knowledge, you are the ones that are supposed to guide those at the lower economic strata of the economy. Those who may not understand this information, you're supposed to break it down for them and let them know that their leadership has failed, that Rowley has failed, that Smallpin has failed, that Imbat has failed, that the PNM has failed. Well, I will read it for you all. Economists on PM Rowley's legacy: decline, deficits, debt, and downgrades. Degrade. 2 of them, 2 out of the 3 economists give Rowley a grade. D. I don't think I ever get a D in my life in anything except singing and music, which God have blessed me with no talent in that. So you can't blame me for that. But a D, and then one of them was so scared, they didn't give a grade because the fear factor of a tyrannical, oppressive dictator is still there. Because he's coming, and with this D grade and this legacy, you have to realize that Rowley's #1 supporter, Rowley's #1 minister of everything, Rowley described him as Gary Sobers. Poor Gary Sobers. Gary Sobers was a brilliant all-rounder, bowling, fielding, and batting. Smallpin was a total, complete all-rounder, yes. A failure, dotish, dumb, and dumber. And Rowley's #1 fellow, the man who is also the architect of this demise, Rowley puts to lead the PNM, and all is staying quiet. Let's read what these economists say about Rowley's legacy on the economy. A decade after Dr. Keith Rowley was sworn in as Prime Minister in 2015, TNT's economy is 17.6% smaller than it was, and the country is in a weaker state. 9 years, and we are smaller, and now you're giving me Smallpin. Do you all understand what that means? That Rowley's decision making, his leadership has shrunk us, made us poor, took away jobs. We produce nothing. That is there. There's not Anil saying it, you know. Using the academic A to F grading, well, that's when they grade him. 2 of them gave him a D. The University of West Indies UWI economist Dr. Valmiki Arjun, who examined economic data during the last 9 years plus of Rowley's administration, said real gross domestic product GDP fell from 187.5 billion in 2015 Most of that 2015 was Kamla, and then 4 months of Rowley. 2014, it was up at 189 billion under Kamla, right? It fell to an estimated 154.5 billion in 2024 because of lower levels of energy production. So Rowley is the prime minister who failed and shrunk the economy. And the reason it shrunk is because Smallpin was the minister of energy who decimated the energy sector. This decline is evident in fiscal underperformance, heightened debt, rising poverty and inequality, diminished investor confidence, and deepening economic uncertainty. You cannot get worse than that. Did you hear what this man, this economist, is describing Rowley's legacy on the economy? Not one positive. He continued. Indeed, much of this decline can be attributed to, who's the next Prime Minister Rowley want? Who Rowley bullied the Parliamentary Caucus and the General Council of the PNM to insist to circumvent the one man, one vote, to circumvent the PNM constitution, to circumvent a special convention, to circumvent an annual convention for political leader. Who is the man, the Minister of Energy, and that Rowley want to foist on PNM and foist on the electorate of Trinidad and Tobago? Well, hear what this says. Indeed, much of this decline can be attributed to reduced energy production, an industry accounting for roughly 30 to 40% of our GDP. So most of this failure can be accounted to or could be stapled to the chest of Stuart Smallpin Young. TNT has yet to catch up with pre-pandemic performance levels. Using International Monetary Fund IMF data, TNT's 2024 GDP still lags 6.14% behind 2019 levels. Now, 2019, the economy had already been decimated by Rowley. There was loss of jobs. Petrotrin refinery had been shut down. But in 2017 negotiation with NGC Gas, the price in Houston with the upstreamers was beginning to take effect. NGC would make a loss for the first time in 2019 and so on. So 2019 was not no big banner year for economic action and for GDP. But yet we are still behind Rowley's shrunken economy of 2019 in 2024. And they still bowling COVID-19 that done since 2021-22. So they continue. Growth was also hindered. Now this is where it really gets stupid, because now it's showing you even further. You create the problem and then you exacerbate the problem by bad decisions. Growth was also hindered by increased taxes to compensate for the loss of energy revenues, like raising the corporate tax from 25% to 30% and other numerous obstacles to business competitiveness, such as port clearance delays, difficulties obtaining licenses and permits, limited access to forex, and crime, all of which deter business operations, expansion, and new investment. In other words, PNM total complete failure under Rowley and Smallpin. Professor Arjun continued. He then looked at an investment flows into TNT over the past few years and said, for instance, foreign investors have been withdrawing investment. People running with their money away from the PNM, running with their money away from Smallpin, running with their money away from Rowley, and running with their money away from the people and the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, which makes everybody's life harder. Politics is a serious thing. Total foreign direct investment, net inflows from 2015 to 2023 amounting to inflows, negative 3.18 billion US. That is like you turn on your tap and you had a little water in the sink, and the tap suck the water out from the sink and take that too and gone. Negative. So no investment, nothing coming in under Rowley. And he wants to impose the same Small-Pin. He and Small-Pin were in charge of all of this devastation. They continued. In the last 9 years, the energy sector saw, let's listen carefully, saw significant declines. Decline is not a good word. Shrinkage, Small-Pin, small, tiny in output, with natural gas, LNG, and crude oil production falling by about 35% as compared with Kamla and Kevin Ramnarine. 45% and 36% respectively. So LNG, crude oil production, right, and natural gas, all of them fell by an average of 40% under Small-Pin and Rowley, largely due to maturing reservoirs which require brain, intelligence, investment, maintenance, and skill to maximize what you could squeeze out of them. And this is very critical, slower than anticipated pace of new field development, because the PNM did not know how to incentivize, did not know how to create a tax regime to encourage investment and exploration by upstreamers. He continued, our external debt currently stands at US $5.5 billion, 147% higher than Kamla, the 2015. Our indebtedness, your children, what you have to pay back is 147% higher. And the credit rating agencies in the last decade, Moody's downgraded us 3 times from Baa2 to Ba2, while S&P downgraded us 4 times from A to BBB minus. TNT's foreign reserves declined over the last decade, which has led to the grim situation that exists today. Our forex challenges largely stem from a sharp decline in earnings tied to reduced energy exports, tied to Small-Pin and lower tax revenues. We are suffering from Rowley and Small-Pin's incompetence. And it's not from increased demand like the Dwayne tried to tell earlier. All of a sudden, people with credit cards start to order more and want more and buy more. No, everything shrunk. Everything shrunk. The demand did not increase. Demand is the same. What shrunk is our revenue and our availability of foreign exchange. Consequently, our foreign reserve dropped from US $9.9 billion at the end of 2015. It was up at $11 billion at the end of 2014. But remember, 2015 had 4 months of PNM, to $5.6 billion US in 2024, partly propped up by external borrowing. So Coleman, but Rowley and Small-Pin borrowed money that you and your children have to pay back to try and prop up reserves and try to prop up the economy. But down the line, you had to pay back that. Borrowing and withdrawals from the HSF. If we net out, hear this, if we net out external debt, barely US 100 million remains, less than a week of import cover. When Kamala was there at 14 months, import cover $12.26 billion US. Them suck it out, use it out, spend it out. Nothing works, total chaos. And then Rowley telling you, I go and look Small-Pin. You all cannot be serious. This is why they cannot discuss this. It's amazing Guardian actually print this. Somebody must be cussed them for printing the truth. Poor grade. 2 other economists gave the PNM a poor grade for its management of the economy. Dr. Indira Sarjawan Ali gave Rowley a D, and Dr. Anthony Gonzalez gave Rowley a D. What grade do you give Keith Rowley? A D is a failing grade in our economy that impacts all of us. You need a government to keep you safe, provide security, free from crime, so that your children can go about their business, you can go and work hard, and you need a government to create an opportunity that gives you the right to earn a living wage and allow you to fulfill your dreams. Rowley and Small-Pin, who are intrinsically linked for life, stapled together, are total, complete failures. Read the article yourself. Bless. Get ready to vote.